walk away from the train wreck. You can blame it on the tech or the disrespect. If you play better, button check. Button check.
What is up, Butt Check family? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful day of checking these buttons. It is Friday. The weekend is here. We done made it. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Chapters down below as always, and of course that sub button. We got a hot ass debate. FGC is officially divided. This has been bubbling for some time. I feel like it's only going to get worse at this point. Let's go ahead and unpack it without further ado. Let's go. All right, now into them first sort of they not like us buttons that need to be checked. Okay, or I should say they don't care about us buttons that need to be checked. At least that's what the people are saying. So this one stems around the Esports World Cup. There's a lot of debate around it, and we kind of saw little glimpses of it here and there. People were talking about because it's over in Saudi Arabia and the government and their laws and whatnot, cruelty, all these accusations and, you know, what do they call it? Executions and imprisonments. And people are basically saying, how could we as a community participate knowing that they run, you know, their country like that? Esports in general. And it's not just FGC, it's a lot of other people. So I'm kind of going to present it to you the way it was presented to me. Let's unpack it. So somebody by the name of Caleb Simmons, you'll see is a host of the Rocket League Championship Series. He posted this the other day. Now you can see right here where it said, I did not expect esports in 2024 to make me grieve like this, but this hits keep coming. Gave myself a few days to process emotions. It's time to get up and get loud. I'm stepping down from the esports award panel. I was approached to work from Gamers 8. And Gamers 8 are the same ones that do the Esports World Cup, by the way. Last year as well as EWC this year, both of which I've turned down and will continue to do so. It is impossible to write the perfect statement, so I'm just going to make a list of truths I deeply feel that led me to this conclusion. Then down here, he actually says he loves and respects Men of Rocket League family, but he goes on to say how the government are doing horrific acts and he simply can't, you know, go against that or condone it in any way, so he can't participate. He says he's enthusiastic for the Middle East to experience the joy of esports in a way that he has, but the direct government involvement irreparably stains the show. Down below, he also says, I do not fault any colleagues for making a decision different than mine. It is an exceedingly complex world, and we can easily draw different conclusions. I will ask forgiveness for any MENA fans that feel hurt by this choice. And then down below, he kind of wraps it up. This is the statement right here that I want to focus on because we're going to come back. Now, FGC is reacting. You see Sajam right here saying this is such a perfect breakdown of how I think most people not involved feel. Well said. Others are like huge props, and he's, you know, basically thanking them. If we continue on, let's go because we're going to get like a couple different sides. Sajam continues saying, haven't seen a statement. Actually, that's just the one we read, right? Down below, Mature TV says, would you do the same when offered to work in an organization / country / group that supports Israel? Or is this just about working with Muslims? Sajam responds saying, not about Muslims. As an example, I was offered a massive contract recently by the US government and I declined. Mature says, this is really about working with, or is this really about working with any government? The original post is 100% targeted at Saudi Arabia. Specifically, I am appalled by the official policies and practices of Saudi government. And then he goes on to that statement. This is what it mentioned. We saw another very similar example of Football World Cup in 2022. What else? He says, yet the event is the safest in history and remarkable success. I don't think this kind of target attacks towards a group helps anyone. In fact, it would make people with certain agendas boycott the event, which will hurt the FGC. And then people kind of go debating and saying, yes, if the US to use esports in a way to distract from their funding of the Palestinian genocide, I would react the same way, was also in the original tweet. So from there, it gets even deeper. This, like I'm telling you, there's a lot going on right now of debates and whatnot. So this is just a small piece of it from what I'm seeing so far. Sonic Fox even responds to that, saying, I'm certainly against the EWC, especially since the country actively discriminates against the LGBTQ folks like me. I think allowing the EWC to stay in the FGC would divide the community drastically, as the LGBTQ folks or plus folks would straight up just not be allowed to compete in it. And then down below, he says, playing for that amount of money is anybody's dream, but doing so at the cost of discriminating against players is something I will always, and I mean always, be against. It also sucks being a professional esports player and actively knowing that sponsors are looking around to hire players for EWC. I've been approached a few offers already, and I've had to straight up say I cannot do this because I'm gay, which fucking sucks. So that's pretty deep, right? Asana's coming out saying we shouldn't allow it. And it sucks because this is a big payday for a lot of people. They're coming out. A lot of sponsors are trying to sponsor players now because they see that prize pool. They see those millions of dollars. What is it, like 60 million, something like that, a total? And they're trying to sponsor. They're trying to get up all these players. And Sonic's like, I think Sonic's still a free agent, if I'm, not mistaken, saying it sucks having to say I can't because I'm gay. And even if I wanted to and go over there, maybe I catch some shit. Maybe I get in trouble, because I'm openly gay. For now, there's a clip, all right? So I want us to watch this. I'm just going to play a snippet of it. I'm going to put the gentleman's full link down below so you can check him out. He's in a different part. He's not FGC, but he's also speaking on this. His name is Sideshow Valorant. First time learning of him when I was just kind of researching the story. Goes in depth to why he thinks people should do the same when it comes to the EWC. Let's check it out.
Right? It's not like the people who are literally giving the money are actually the same people ordering immigrants being slaughtered at the border or something crazy like that. Right? Right? Except that's exactly what's happening. When we say that Saudi owns something or Saudi bought something or Saudi's investing into something, the reason that people tend to say Saudi rather than, X company from Saudi Arabia, it's not because they're ignorant of what's happening in the Middle East. It's because they're usually referring to the Public Investment Fund, which is literally money from the governing royal family that's being, taken out of the ground with oil and, the other small things that that their GDP creates, and they're spending it directly on other investments. Now, sometimes it refers to their subsidiary, especially within our world, of the Savvy Gaming Group, too. That's a subsidiary of the Public Investment Fund that's kind of their arm for investing in the video game industry. So it's coming, this money, from the state directly, from MBS directly, not from disinterested corporate parties who just happen to be living in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And to talk about a little bit about how Saudi works, it is an interlinked web of politicians, the royal family, who are frequently the same people, and people leading the sports investments, all three of which are just a tangled web because all three of them can be the same people. You have the royal family, who run the entire show, are the politicians, who also are the heads of the sports bodies. So it's not like in most countries that you'll be familiar with, where the head of the sports body is somebody that gets appointed to that job, and then there are politicians, and then there might even be a monarch or another head of government that isn't exactly the same as the politician. Are pretty similar to what's going on in the US. You, from an ethical point of view, don't see any difference between the two. Here's another massive difference. The US government is not running Champions LA directly to try and repair its reputation with the youth. It just isn't. Joe Biden does not know that Champions LA happened. I'm fairly sure. For the US fans who refuse to engage with this issue due to what they perceive as hypocrisy, if Joe Biden ordered hundreds of unarmed Mexican migrants to be gunned down at the border and then turned around and funded, promoted, and ran Champions LA to promote their progressive values as a country, all while paying people like Boaster not to say anything about it, and then trying to buy up the entire esports scene as well, that's the level that we're talking about right now. Can you imagine a situation in which that is happening? Of course we would be talking about it as well. Yeah, the idea that this is hypocritical, that we wouldn't say anything if it was a different country doing it, of course we would. We absolutely would. And in fact, we must. One of the things that this money is designed to do when we talk about sports washing is that it's designed to buy some kind of complicity and silence. If you watch our stuff, you can't shit talk us because you're part of it, because we're paying for the thing that you like. Fuck that. I mean, we've got to talk about it. We've got to We've got to make sure that we're not buying into and making the sports washing work. But people are emotional about sports. And people near and dear to us are emotional about esports. So focusing on that aspect is where we might be able to get some traction and try to stop one of the most repressive, hateful, abusive regimes taking over the esports, gaming, and wider tech world. And at the very least, at least we'll go down screaming about it.
All right, so there we have it. Very interesting, right? So I want to hit a couple different points. And please stay with me, because I'm going to hit a couple different perspectives before I get to my final one. I see exactly what both sides are saying, right? FGC, I will give credit, you know what I'm saying, because even though we're like, some consider us still grassroots, others say we're mainstream now, you know, but all in all, it seems like the FGC does try to fight to sustain and keep some kind of morality, some kind of bar that we could set ourselves as to kind of almost feel like we don't completely just sell out or lose ourselves. You know, even though we all want money, even though we all want to be mainstream or recognized for our talents and our gifts, and we want our gods, right? Our legends, Daigo, you know, everybody, we want them to receive the shine that they need, that they deserve, right? There's still a part of the core of the FGC that fights to keep us that, you know, in a good way. And I've always loved that about the FGC. The negative part about that is sometimes we fight to keep that way, but it keeps us broke, I think. I think we've had a broke mentality for so fucking long that we don't understand anything else. We're just okay with it. Especially since most people in the FGC don't see the fucking money anyway. You know what I'm saying? We're just the spectators. You know, we don't see that 1% top player money. We're just fans watching on the outside. So we don't mind, technically, if things stay the same financially in the tournaments. You know, like I said, not everybody, but, you know, there's some people like that. They could give a shit either way. Now, when I first heard this story and people talking about you shouldn't go and yada, yada, I'm going to give you, I'm a human, bro. I'm a human, right? So I'm going to give you my first initial thought, right? This is my first one. My first one was shut the fuck up and let people go get their money. Don't be out here judging people or trying to, oh, you should have, what kind of person are you? Because the way I was thinking was a lot of these people, hang with me now. Like, listen, I'm gonna take a play from out of Ocho, right? Nightcap. I love me some Uncle Shay Shay in Ocho. Okay, stay with me now. Stay with me. All right. So a lot of these players, commentators, whoever they are, that are speaking against this, everybody has a different situation in life. Some are just single. They're not married. They have no kids. They have no mortgage. They have no, you know, it's like they're cool or they already have money. So technically, it's not that big of a deal. Yes, don't get me wrong. You're playing for millions of dollars in this tournament. That's a big deal. But what I'm trying to say is not everybody's coming from the same situation. For some people, this is life or fucking death, and they got to put food on the plates for their family. They've never, ever, and probably will never again have an opportunity like this. So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, yo, if you don't agree with it, that's perfectly fine, right? Absolutely. But shut the fuck up and let this man go get his money, right? That's my first thought. And to be honest, I still believe that. But here's my second thought. After seeing this video and seeing like, yeah, there's some good ass points here. Imagine if you're the player. Imagine if you're the player sponsor, you got a chance to get this millions of dollars. You got a family. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to, this is your livelihood, this is your dream. You've been working so long and you've never seen this kind of money. And now all of a sudden people are like, hey, here you go. This is right up your alley and you got a chance to get it. How are you going to feel? Because you accept, you qualify, right? But now you're hearing on the Twitter and different players saying, we're not going, y'all. We can't support it because of the rights and the government. Here's what's going to happen. As an American, your first thought is going to be like, fuck that. Fuck their government. I'm going to go get my money. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because we're used to thinking like Americans. We're not tied in with our government like that. We're allowed here to talk shit about Trump, Biden, whoever we want to talk about, and we're not going to go to jail. Now, obviously, there's some hate crimes and all that shit. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about you do have the right. We do have the right here in America to free speech. You know what I'm saying? To talk that shit, and we're not going to get executed. We're not going to get thrown in jail for 40, 50 years like a lot of these people have in Saudi. You know what I'm saying? So I think as an American, our mindset is like, well, fuck government got to do with it. Y'all could chill. I'm going to go get my money. You know what I'm saying? But when we dig in deeper and we start learning, fuck, that's what the government has to do, because the actual people that run everything are the ones throwing the tournament. So now imagine how you might feel as a player if you know all this. You're like, fuck me, right? Because fuck me, right? Because fuck me. I'm already set to go. I'm geared up. I'm ready. But wait a minute. You're telling me the money that's coming from this is probably from the same people that's over here doing some ill shit. I mean, ill shit. So now you're like, fuck. What do I do? Do I go? Do I get this money and use it for good? You know what I'm saying? Do I somehow separate the two and be like, hey, this is my career. I got nothing to do with what they doing on the left or the right or whatever. This is me on the left. What they do over there, I'm not there. I can't prove it, whatever. I'm here focusing on my shit, my lane, right? And I think that's what a lot of players are going to do. I think ultimately it should come back to this. This is what Caleb said in the initial statement that I highlighted. I do not fault any colleagues for making a decision different than mine. It is an exceedingly complex world, and we can easily draw different conclusions. I ask forgiveness of any MENA fans that feel hurt by this. That's the main thing right there. I do not fault any colleagues for making a decision different than mine, and I think that's the same attitude that the FGC needs to have. How many times we will say on this channel, agree to disagree, it's okay. Twitter does not necessarily do that. Twitter has a tendency to burn you to the fucking ground if you don't agree with them. We've seen that multiple times. But I think, look at the roster for the Esports World Cup. It's nothing but killers. It's nothing but people that we love and respect. There's people right now, where they at? Sweden or something like that for the last DreamHack Sweden. That's the last, or one of the last qualifiers to get in. It's going on right now. And it's like, you know, everybody's going there. Their Daigo's there. You know, I'm still the daddy. Punk. A lot of people are over there trying to qualify for the EWC. So what I'm saying is there's enough big respected members of the FGC going and participating in this to where I don't think it's going to get canceled on Twitter. People could speak up all day and start to say that, hey, you shouldn't go, or hey, we shouldn't fuck with them. But because there's too many big names involved with this, I don't think Twitter, in this sense, is going to have the power to cancel a tournament or fucking around with, you know, Saudi and whatnot. Because like I said, there's too many predominant names. I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the FGC just still remaining split. Some people are going to be on that left and others are going to be on the opposite side saying, we do, we don't. You know, that's all that's going to happen until Capcom or somebody else comes out and says, hey, we're not going to fuck with them technically. Y'all shouldn't either. Or we don't want them to allow to use our game or something like that. You know, something like that. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. But my question to you is, should it change? That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe at the end of the day, so far, that it should come down to this. I do not fault any colleagues for making a decision different than mine. That's what I feel. If you don't go and you feel very passionate about it, don't go. 100%, man. And keep making your videos and keep doing what you feel is right. Because at the end of the day, if that shit is going on, like people are getting executed and in prison, like they're just fucking people up, and then yeah, fuck that, right? But in the meantime, if these players are chasing their dreams, trying to get their money, and, you know, they're doing everything right in their lives, chasing their dream, more power to them. I'm not going to knock the next man or woman for chasing their dream. And that it is, ladies and gents. Definitely let me know how you are feeling. I say definitely let me know how you are feeling. This is a hot take. It can go either way. At the end of the day, I see all those perspectives. But like I said, I'm not the one to tell the next man or woman how to live their life. As long as they're doing everything in their life, them specifically, you know, chasing their dreams and goals and whatnot. If they choose to go, they choose to go. You ain't gonna hear a peep from that stuff. I ain't gonna judge nobody on that tip. You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side, I do understand why people like Sajam and, you know, Sonic and whatnot are speaking up saying, I can't get down with it. Like, I can't do it, you know? So, like I said, definitely deep, definitely, you know, both sides of the fence have really good arguments. How y'all feeling? Let me know. And as always, I don't know what it is, but I know it's about to get better. We will see you soon. If not tomorrow, definitely the next day, which in that case, it'll be Sunday, bright and early. Love y'all forever. See you soon. Peace.
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.
And now for that FGC moment of bliss, guess what? We got our staff back. I went ahead and hired them back. All right, so anyway, now we got, on a positive note, let's leave this. We got Arc Systems, right? We got Arc Systems. They posted this the other day. Matter of fact, a few hours ago, saying, let's rock. The Guilty Gear series TV anime adaptation is coming, announcing Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers. FGC is reacting, losing their damn mind. People are like, yes, please, this is huge. Let's fucking go. Let this be good. If you click on the link, it takes you here. And then you'll see announcing the anime. Down here, I was hoping for like a little peek or something like that, but I think it just says more information coming soon. Yeah, more details to come during our Anime Expo panel. Information reveal is in 20 days. That's what's up. Y'all have a good day. Have a good weekend. Peace.